Hey everybody, this is Perch, and we're talking Dungeons and Dragons again. Okay. So I read through the comments. A number of you saying you don't get it, you're responding to the wrong thing. A viewer wrote in a mail, basically asking about some changes that Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons and Dragons are making. It's a big controversy. Now, in the mail, and it was I got the impression, because I've gotten other mails about Wizards of the Coast, about the history, about parts of the gaming community and things they were changing. So I made an assumption that this mail was talking about that because it didn't go into what the actual controversy was. I hadn't searched on what had been going on in the last 2 weeks, so I definitely made a mistake and answered the question. I answered the wrong question, I guess is the way to put it. It wasn't the question; it was on people's minds. So thank you for correcting me. Some of the video about the history of WotC and kind of the different parts of it still hold up. It's very true, but this is not about social agenda or anything else. I still maintain and am confused by one aspect, which was in Dungeons and Dragons, you were never restricted from playing any kind of character you want. You could be straight, gay, non-binary, anything. You could be whatever you want. I mean, that was never there's never like things in the rules saying you couldn't be gay. That was not in the rules. So I am still confused. And again, it was a different topic about why, there's this fanfare now that, we're allowing other things in the lore. I don't get that, because you always did, but hey, who doesn't love a good marketing? So anyway, what is the controversy? So let's go back and let's answer this question a second time, this time with the actual topic and the admission I got something wrong. So basically what's gone on here is, on a licensing level, the Wizards of the Coast, who has Dungeons and Dragons, has had this system where people have been able to make and sell various storylines, products, basically basically use the copyright, use the material, but sell their own things. And they've been doing so under an open game OGL agreement, which was a fairly, let's say, loose agreement, a fairly easy to obtain, not a big deal. And some people have made, who've gotten very good at this craft, have actually, there's kind of two people who are really lots of people are upset, but two kind of camps that are really upset. Some people who are actually making a decent amount of money doing this, so who have invested quite a bit of themselves and made a little business. And then others who have created material that has, that have gone on for quite a while. They created something original, and they built on it, created a whole little, a world of shared plans and adventures in the games, and that they've invested a lot of their own personal time into. So this is, in effect, if you're familiar with software, this is the idea that, you develop a core software like Microsoft has for, Word, Office, PowerPoint, these programs, and then people come in, they build templates for those programs. This is a very simplistic way to explain it. And they sell those templates, and Microsoft doesn't come around and go, hey, wait a minute, you can't do that. No, this open license allows people to create their own marketplace. And if you're a company, you love this. You love it because basically anyone, creating material, just they're out there building products and encouraging people to come in and use your stuff. If you're Microsoft PowerPoint and you develop a template that allows you to do schedule tracking, well, PowerPoint wasn't built for schedule tracking, but some people on their own dime went out and created some templates to help you do that. Sure, they're making the money off that template, but it just means a whole new audience is coming and buying and using PowerPoint, so Microsoft gets money too, and they get people stuck and attached to the program. That's a good thing. And Wizards of the Coast and D&D had certainly built up a loyal audience of people who, are able to build their own adventures and ultimately play Dungeons and Dragons. What's really important in this entire controversy is about to unfold is that, Wizards of the Coast is still making money, lots of money. They're getting a lot of cash in this whole process, because you can't not buy Dungeons and Dragons in order to do all this kind of customization and other things on top of it. So the Open Gaming License Agreement is a very positive thing for the source company, unless you get greedy and controlling over it, which seemingly is exactly what has happened. So basically, these plans were leaked, and the new agreement basically was absurd on many levels. So first off, it doesn't allow the same kind of openness to the OGL. So if you're going to create under this material, it's no longer going to give you as much freedom to just make and do what you want. And it gives them some ability to shut down things somewhat indiscriminately. And it allows them to actually make money off the products, to basically suck the money that was going to the originator to Wizards of the Coast instead of the people who are making it. And so if it basically basically that it's like Wizards gets to come in and just take the cash. It also, if Wizards doesn't decide to just take the cash or make money, it means that companies who are making over 750,000, which granted is probably not a lot of them, have to pay 25% cut of the earnings. So that is crazy. This is you've been doing, companies have been doing this for years. Now suddenly have somebody reaching into their pocket and taking that cash. It is a absolute reversal on any kind of open gaming community or open developer community, as they call it in software. It's basically taking that cash. So people are frustrated. They're leaving the game. They're angry, and absolutely it's just sparked immediate outrage. Now, for what it's worth, at the time that I'm recording this, basically Wizards of the Coast is kind of walking back. They're now saying, hey, it was just a draft. Basically, they're basically saying that we're rethinking this. Don't get all angry yet. This is just a draft, and we promise it will not contain clauses regarding royalties or a license back, which basically means that they get the right to kind of take that cash. They are saying now, and this is the biggest bullshit kind of moment, that the reason why they're doing all of this, the only reason why they're doing it, it's certainly not for money. I mean, why would you think they want cash? No, the reason they're doing this is to stomp out hate, because they find that some of the products that were made are not up to the open and love standards that the game is known for, and that they basically they're just trying to stamp out hate people. They're not doing it. They're not greedy. They just they found that a couple of those people out there selling kind of attached adventures. Well, some of those people are nightmare discriminatory people. And they need to be stopped. So that's what's going on. It's not they're bad people. It's that there's awful people that are involved in all this, and so that's what's going on. So this is an attempt to kind of defend humanity here and get rid of the Nazis. It's not about cash. It's absolutely not about cash. And that they always, it was their statement, they always intended to seek out the community's opinions. And that the only reason why it was leaked, in fact, it didn't even leak out. They intended for people to see it. They're such a great company that they actually let this OGL agreement, this draft, go out to get feedback, and that they're not. I mean, I'm sorry, it's absolutely stupid. Number one, bullshit. This is not the amount of you're trying to crack down on the people who are selling Nazi campaigns in alt-right campaigns inside Dungeons and Dragons. That is 0.01% of the shit that's getting sold. Definitely none of those are making more than $750,000 a year. Sorry, they're not. I did go and do my research. That is absolute horseshit. And then second, just take the L. The document leaked. Don't try and, in addition to saying, hey, whoops, we made a mistake and don't worry about it, bro, don't also get in here and tell us that, it didn't even leak on purpose. That was all, you planned it from the beginning. That come on. I mean, at least this is absolutely an attempt to say, no, you guys were all wrong and we didn't even do it in the first place. Just absurd. So anyway, they've put it on hold. They're supposed to release it here this week, and then now that's not happening. So that is what's happening. So many people are now. Many of the gamers are saying we're going to jump ship and go to Pathfinder or some other things. But Pathfinder was built off of the backbone of D&D, so it too under this license. So here's the takeaway from my perspective, having seen companies, have made these mistakes and have to walk them back and everything else. If you make money off D&D and you're doing this stuff, prepare for them to take your money. Some of it. They're going to. Even if they walk back, even if they say, we're not going to do it right now, they're coming for it. At some point, once this idea is in the air, once people start making revenue targets, once lawyers are involved to start drawing up agreements, and they were from this draft, absolutely the finance department has checked out what they could make, and they are coming for it. They may not come today. They may delay it for a couple months, but they are absolutely coming for it. They're getting their hands in your pocket no matter what. So if you're, the worst place for people to be, and I've seen a lot of content creators screwed by this, the absolute worst place for you to be is if you, if you say, oh, well, they saw the error of their ways, and so now it's safe to keep going, so I'll just keep going, and crisis averted. That crisis is coming. It's just going to come at you a little bit later. It's going to come at you with maybe a little bit more cologne sprayed on it to make it palatable, but it's coming. So I think in general, look, Wizards of the Coast, of course, is a profit company. Of course it is. It also, if you watch the other video, and I stand by it, it tends to be a short-sighted company. It always has been, and it's made plenty of decisions that are like that. So the fact is, Wizards of the Coast, they're Hasbro, I mean, this is more WotC than Hasbro, but they are absolutely looking to figure out how they squeeze more revenue out of this thing. The numbers are probably not as good as they hope. They're looking for some other things. I would wildly speculate that there's a license somewhere in their camp that they're going to lose. That they may go somewhere else. I don't know. And so this is an attempt to put some money in their pockets, and also it's an attempt to control more of what goes on. When companies make developer communities or software communities where other people get to build their own stuff, it's often one of those things where it tells you a lot about the character of the company, if they truly let that happen freely or not. It's like comic books. I mean, people should be able to go make comic books and do whatever they want. The marketplace will decide. But as we've seen in comics, sometimes somebody makes a comic and then somebody else goes, hey, I don't think that comic book should be made because I don't like what's in it, or I don't like the person who's made it. And so they make it their business to keep the comic book forever entering into the world. Well, that's I always say that's not your business. And as a company, it's not your business. And I understand these people are leveraging D&D, but again, any bright corporation knows that that's healthy. That just strengthens our overall product to have people building off of it and having people build expansions. Yeah, you do have to kind of swallow your pride that some of those expansions may be better than what you're doing yourself. But be grateful that you created a platform that's enabled people to do this, and be thankful that you're still getting the money for that platform. So, there's definitely a point of view. I've argued this topic with others to say, no, if it leverages the product in any way, then the money should go to them, and fuck them. If they wanted to do something, then they'd build their completely own, unique, original product. And that's certainly a mood you can take. It's a view, but it's not a healthy one, and it certainly doesn't grow the business while you sleep. So there you go. Again, my apologies, my humility for answering the wrong question. There you have it. There's to the original writer. There's my answer. There you go. See, even Perch can make a mistake. Very rarely, but it can happen for sure. It's very once in a long while, maybe once every hour. That's it. Very rarely. Anyway, thanks for listening.